Roshanara Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to start off by congratulating my honourable friends and the many honourable members on the other benches for their maiden speeches. It's incredible. I remember how intimidating it was, and it's a great source of pride to see so many members on our side giving their maiden speech today. Mr. Speaker, in this year's Queen's Speech, the government revealed a threadbare legislative programme with no majority, no mandate, no legitimacy, and propped up by a self-serving deal with the DUP costing at least £1 billion. Mr. Speaker, I welcome the absence of the flagship Tory manifesto commitments such as grammar schools, cuts to the winter fuel allowance, cuts to pensions, cuts to universal school meals, and much else, because the party opposite knows they cannot get through that legislative programme through this Parliament. However, the Queen's Speech hasn't gone far enough in shelving Tory manifesto pledges that would be damaging to our country. Nowhere is this clearer than in the squeeze in local services such as schools, nurseries, hospitals, GPs, surgeries, policing, housing and youth services, and of course local authority budget cuts. Take the national funding formula, for example. The government is yet to rule out the £3 billion of cuts in our schools' budgets. Schools in my constituency stand to lose £905 per pupil. That is 891 teachers across the borough and a cut in £33 million by 2020. Mr. Speaker, where is the fairness in that when we face some of the worst child poverty in the country as well as inequality? Despite the challenges, teachers, the local authority and parents work together to transform our schools since inheriting the worst in the country back in 1997 and now to the best in the country. But this government's vindictive proposals that seek to take away crucial resources will set that achievement back and put years of painstaking work to improve educational attainment and promote social mobility at risk. So I urge the government to reverse this proposed cut. Mr. Speaker, nurseries also face severe funding cuts. Early years education is crucial, and yet a number of nurseries in my constituency face closure. I appeal to the government to think again. On policing and other emergency services, our police and fire service and other emergency services not only deserve our praise for their bravery in light of the recent terror attacks and the fire in Grenfell Tower, they also deserve recognition through increased pay and investment in these crucial services. That is why I appeal to the government to reverse those cuts that they are proposing, including the £400 million policing cuts in London, as well as having lost 20,000 police officers around the country. We stand to lose much more, and we have lost many police and community support officers. Mr. Speaker, I want to end my remarks with an urgent appeal to the government to make an unambiguous commitment to invest the necessary funds to ensure safety checks in our schools, housing and hospitals and all buildings that require it. In light of the recent fire in Grenfell Tower, in which lives were lost needlessly. And the government must act now to strengthen the powers of the housing regulator, so that we never see residents feeling voiceless, as the Grenfell Tower residents did when they warned of the likely dangers to their tower block. Thank you.